Evan Wolfson, Executive Director of Freedom to Marry and author of Why Marriage Matters, America, Equality, and Gay People's Right to Marry, which was published by Simon & Schuster in 2004. Seeking the freedom to marry is not seeking special rights, it's seeking an end to the exclusion from something that most people, gay or non-gay, cherish and value and want to have in their lives. When gay people are allowed to participate in the institution of marriage, there's nothing special about that. It's enabling those couples to have the same opportunities, the same responsibilities, the same rules, the same responsibilities, and the same respect. There's nothing special about that. Gay rights are really just non-gay rights made available to everyone. And there's nothing special about seeking to be equal. We live in a country that has as its defining credo the idea that everyone is entitled to be both equal and different. And no one should have to give up his or her difference in order to be treated equally. And that's not a question of special, that's a question of equal. If this struggle were just about gay people, it would matter, because gay people are human beings and we're part of families. I have non-gay parents, I have non-gay brothers, I have non-gay nieces and nephews. They love me. They want the best for me, I want the best for them. We're part of communities, we're part of families. We form families. We're human beings. We have what the Vermont Supreme Court called the common humanity that all of us share. So if this were only about gay people, it would matter. But it's not only about gay people. And if this were only about marriage, it would matter, because marriage is a very important institution in our society and a very important choice that people think of as one of the most defining choices they make in their life. Marriage is the language, the vocabulary in which we talk about love and commitment and self-sacrifice and caring for one another. It's the language in which most of us dream of finding a person to build a life with. It's the language in which young people think of their future and the life they hope to have and share with someone precious to them. And marriage is the legal gateway through which we obtain a vast array of protections and responsibilities under law, protections that affect every area of life, from birth to death, with taxes in between. To be denied the freedom to marry, to be denied marriage, to be excluded from marriage, is to be denied all these intangible and tangible meanings that are so important to people. So if this were only about marriage, it would matter. If it were only about gay people, it would matter. But in fact, this is not just about gay people, and it's not just about marriage. This is about what kind of country we're going to have. Is this a country where we believe that the people, each one of us, should have the freedom to pursue happiness, to make our own choices, to shape our own destiny, and to make our own mistakes without the government or somebody else dictating through the weapon of the law how we ought to live? Is this a country where we believe that religious freedom is important, and in order to protect religious freedom, we have to separate the state and the church in order that the government not be taking sides on religious questions, but rather that each one of us be free to decide them for ourselves, to worship in our own way, to believe what we want to believe? Do we want the government dictating who's right and who's wrong on religious questions and imposing it on some of us? Is this a country where we believe in the equality of women and men? Do we really want to be communicating that women are somehow incomplete unless they have a man in their life, that two women cannot, through their own conscience and love, make their own choice as to how to build and shape their destiny together? Is that a decision we want individuals to make, or the government? Non-gay people have as large a stake in these defining questions as gay people do, because these are the defining questions of what kind of country, what kind of community, what kind of society we are going to have. And the fact of the matter is that defining questions like this, the separation of church and state, the equality of men and women, the equality of the races, the question as to who makes decisions in life, the government or the individual, these kinds of important, crucial, defining questions have always been fought out, contested over on the battleground of marriage. Throughout history, marriage has been the terrain on which societies have wrestled with these kinds of crucial questions. And we are met once again on that battlefield. This time it is gay people seeking the ability to participate fully and freely in society on the same terms, with the same responsibilities and the same rules. Whether people individually care about gay people or not, all of us are injured when any of us are excluded or discriminated against. And thus non-gay people have to speak out, just as those of us who are white had a stake and have a stake in racial equality, including ending race discrimination against racial minorities that we may not be part of. All of us are injured when any religious minority, or even a religious majority, is denied the freedom to worship in their own way, even if we ourselves don't believe what they believe or don't care. All of us, men, are injured when women are downtrodden or excluded or oppressed or limited. You don't have to be part of a group to have a stake in that group. And non-gay people have a stake in how this country, how we, in this time in history, treat all of us amongst us, including gay people.